Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bayonne City Council meeting of April 14th, 2021. I would like to advise all those present that note of this regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne of April 14th, 2021 has provided to the public in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey. Time and place of this has been included in the annual notice of meetings, which was posted and filed with the Jersey Journal and the Star Ledger within the required time. An additional notice of time and place of the meeting was posted and filed with the city clerk and forwarded to the Jersey Journal and the Star Ledger by fax on April 9th, 2021. A notice was hereby given that the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne will conduct this meeting via remote virtual communication equipment in conformance with the directives of the Executive Order of the State of New Jersey for the purpose of conducting city business. The regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne is now in session. Roll call, please, Ms. Medina.
Mr. Carroll,
Here.
Mr. Galais,
Here.
Mr. La Palusa,
Here.
Mr. Perez,
Here.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Here.
Please
Please
rise
rise for the pledge. Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United
of the United States of America,
States of America.
to the
To the republic
For
which
which it
stands
stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
Bada bing.
Our first item is an ordinance entitled the Ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 7 New Hook Road, which property is identified as Block 479, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held March 17th, was published in the Jersey Journal and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it be further considered for final passage following the public hearing of April 14th, 2021, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember La Palusa, giving it the second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution for second reading, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 7 New Hook Road, which is identified as Block 471, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It is the property at PDQ Plastics. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. And are there any speakers on 01? I'm going to take that as a no. And no protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed by me. May I have a motion to close?
So move.
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it. Move.
Second.
And on final passage, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
02 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 471 Broadway, which is identified as Block 210, Lot 25.01, 26, and 27, as shown on the official tax map of the city, and pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, and was introduced and passed the first reading at a meeting held March 17, 2021, was published in the Jersey Journal and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of April 14th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. This is the Rite Aid property. And a resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution for second reading, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 471 Broadway, which is identified as Block 210, lots 25.01, 26, and 27, as shown on the official tax map of the City of Bayonne pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. The council president is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. Are there any speakers on O2?
I'm just going to give an
Because I can-
overview anyway.
Mhm.
I'll give the details for the public too, in case they want to comment. I'll make sure they understand what the project is. It's 7 stories. The top story, the 7th floor has to be 25% open space at a minimum. Okay. So, and it's the parking is for 1 bedrooms, it's 1-to-1 for every 1 bedroom apartment. They have to have 1 parking space. For a 2 bedroom, they have to have 1.2 on the park. And for any 3 bedroom apartments that they have, we require 2 parking spots. There'll also be commercial in here, and there's requirements on the commercial, 1 per every 1,000 square foot. If it's a restaurant, it has to be 1 space for every 4 seats in a restaurant, depending what they come in on the commercial. So just wanted to give that information out there so everyone understands what this project is, and in case the public has questions, maybe that answered them.
No speakers on O2. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move it. Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And on the motion to resolution ordering final passage,
Move it. So move. Second.
and on the resolution final passage, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
O3 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and SWL Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 69-71 New Hook Road, which is identified as Block 416, Lot 2.01, as shown on the official tax map of the City of Bayonne, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held March 17th, was published in the Jersey Journal and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of April 14, and is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Ms. Nadrowski, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne SW,
Wait, isn't this tabled? Oh, okay. Go ahead, do the second reading, and then we'll.
okay. SWL Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 69-71 New Hook Road, which is identified as Block 416, Lot 2.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city of Bayonne. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
It's my understanding that this is going to be tabled because our financial advisors are still reviewing the numbers. They had some issues with them, so we're going to have to table this until next month's meeting.
So on that, I will take a motion to continue.
I'll continue, sorry.
To continue the public hearing. Who would like to move it?
Move it.
And a second.
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 And on the motion to table, to table, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Okay. 04 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the city of Bayonne, Chapter 4, licensing, registration, and business regulations, which was introduced and passed at first reading at a meeting held March 17, 2021, was published. It was published in the Jersey Journal and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of April 14th. Is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. It is amending section 4.21, which is the towing section. And the resolution moved by Councilman La Palusa, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the city of Bayonne, Chapter 4, which is licensing, registration, and business regulations. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. Are there any speakers on the 04?
Nobody have lifted their hands yet.
Okay. With that being said, no protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So
So
moved.
move.
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
So moved.
So move. Second.
And on the resolution for final passage, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
05 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the city of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic, which was introduced and passed the first reading at a meeting held March 17th, was published in the Jersey Journal and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it will be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of April 14th, and is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. It is deleting one restrictive parking zone. And a resolution moved by Councilmember La Palusa, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Carroll, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And second reading is by title, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic. And the council is ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. Are there any speakers on 05?
Gail Gadowski wants to make a public comment.
She's not
Oh,
up yet.
that's 1 minute. Just hold her till after this vote.
That's
Okay.
06. Okay. With no protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me, I will take a motion to close.
Move
So
it.
moved. Second.
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
And on the motion for final passage, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Okay. 06 is now public comments. Are there any speakers signed up to speak? Okay, that
You
would
could
be
put-
Gail.
Yeah.
Hello?
Nobody's
You are
hands up yet.
unmuted. Sorry, I am computer illiterate, so I found this meeting very interesting. Mr. La Palusa told me about it. May I speak now? I don't see my picture, but I guess you can see me.
Who's
No.
speaking, please?
My name is Linda Kledgmont. I
Thank
don't
you.
know how to show myself, though. I'm sorry.
That's all right, we can hear you.
Okay, so that's sufficient?
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Linda Kledgmont. I was informed of this meeting by Mr. La Palusa when I spoke to him yesterday. I reside at 1121 Avenue C, which is the corner of 55th Street and Avenue C. I have lived in Bayonne. Yeah. Did you? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You're fine, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. Oh, I can still speak then. Okay, so I've lived in Bayonne since I was 1 year old. I decided to stay in Bayonne to raise my son and buy my house. I went to school here. Okay, I'm unmuted now again. The reason I asked to speak is because I've been very disheartened by events going on in Bayonne over, I guess, maybe the past 10 years. I live on a corner property. Every single week, I pick up a bag full of garbage. Now, I guess with COVID, everybody bought a dog. And now I have dog feces all over my property. Nobody does anything about that. I can't have packages delivered to my home because they're stolen almost immediately. And not only that, but the criminals walk up my stairs, they take out what's ever in the box and leave me the empty box. I have drug addicts and drug dealers that walk back and forth over my property. I've found needles and drug paraphernalia strewn all over my side yard. You know, all of these things, nobody seems to be doing anything about. But I think the tip of the iceberg came when I read in the Bayonne paper that you have chosen to build a 6-story structure where Denoy Restaurant is. And, when I drive along Avenue E, I say, oh, thank God this is not in my neighborhood, because I think this isn't the reason I stayed in Bayonne, was to have it look like Manhattan skyline, and now you're going to put one of these buildings a block away from my house with 48 families. That means 48 plus people that are going to throw more garbage around, people that are going to not pick up their dog feces, people that are going to take up parking. I know Mr. La Palusa informed me that there's some kind of special thing with this one, because I treat kids in some of your other buildings, and the parking is not free. And if they choose not to pay for the monthly fee for parking, they park on the street. And I know that because I treat these families and they tell me this. So I hope that that's what's going to happen to this building in place of Denoy. I know that I probably have no voice of the people here, but I felt like I had to come to this meeting, and I had to say that I have to now really sell my house and get out of here, because I cannot live someplace where there's going to be, 6-story structures and no parking and garbage. And I don't know, like, I didn't know about this meeting. So my ignorance that I didn't know about this meeting, and I couldn't have come to this meeting when you were voting on this. But I wonder how many of you live within a block of a 6-story structure. And
Okay.
I've lived in my house for 35 years. Somebody wrote in the Bayonne paper that the building is going to be no higher than any of the other buildings on Avenue C. I thought I read that. And I would like to know where there's another 6-story structure on Avenue C by my house. Curry Woods, there's a building there, but I don't know that there's any 6-story structure along Avenue C close to my home. And, I told Mr. La Palusa, could you tell me when this is going to go on? Because we're going to be exposed to no parking because of construction workers. We're going to be exposed to garbage all over the place. And I need to get out. And I would like to know when the construction is going to start, if anybody can tell me that, so that I can full speed ahead sell my home. And I love my home. I love my home. I hate this. I dislike what's going on in this city. And I don't know how many of you are from Bayonne. I don't know what your opinion is about what it's like to live in Bayonne now, but I'm very, very disheartened. And it really had a lot to make me come on here and talk, because, yeah, I wanted to express my displeasure with this building. I wish I knew when you were voting on the ordinance, or whatever it's called, and then I would have been present for that. But I did need to express my dissatisfaction, and I want to know when the work is going to start. And I think that's it. I think I said everything.
Can you unmute the council people, please?
Can I do that?
No, I'm talking to the moderator.
Oh.
Everybody should be on mute right now.
Okay. No, they're not.
Now?
No.
Oh, strange. What happened? Everybody should be on mute by now.
No, it says they're muted by the organizer.
I have unmuted all attendees have full. Can everybody unmute by themselves? Still?
No, I was the only one that could.
Yeah, because I have giving control to everybody to unmute themselves right now.
All right.
Still? All attendees will have audio control and may unmute themselves at any time. Boy.
Gary, you're unmuted. Can you hear me? You can hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, everybody should be unmuted right now.
Well, the problem is I'm looking at the attendees list from Madeline's computer because we're all unmuted and we're all showing up as red. And where's your mouse?
I think
Okay.
it's good now, if you want to give it a shot.
Yeah, it should be working. Because
No,
Neil
Gary.
Neil can talk.
Click unmute on your own screens now.
Sharon's is not.
Nope.
It says Sharon Nadrowski is muted by organizer.
Oh, now I'm unmuted. I'm
Okay.
unmuted now, and I even dropped and rejoined. I'm unmuted.
Neil is open.
Unmuted.
Right.
Juan is.
Juan Sam Babe.
Well, you don't need to.
Oh yeah, I don't want Ron Perez. Click.
I'm still
You're
muted.
okay now, Juan?
Okay. Now you're on.
Gary?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it should work.
Gary, try you.
No, try it one more time.
Do it again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there
Oh,
you
can
go.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do it.
Okay.
What about
Let me try
Sal?
Sal Khalid.
Sal, can you talk? No.
Where is he? Where is he?
I don't see him.
he's not even on?
He was. Maybe I dropped out and rejoined and it still didn't work, but that's okay.
It's the first time that happened, though.
Don't see him on the list.
I'll call Sal when I get back to my office.
I'm gonna call him right now.
Okay, that should be good.
Okay. Do you want to address our speaker? Oh, no. Okay, I can't hear Sharon now because she muted herself.
Sal said he's on. You don't see him?
No.
Maybe drop and rejoin then because we don't see you on the list. All right. Okay. Sorry. That's what I put myself on mute while I was talking to him. Yes. We'll give it a bit. He's going to drop and rejoin, and hopefully that solves the problem. And this might be a good time to let the public know that next month in May, we will be coming back to in-person meetings. We'll have it'll be hybrid. We will have the webinar also so that people who do not feel comfortable coming out in public yet don't have to, but we will also City Hall will be open for council meetings. But we will be doing both.
Did you want to address Miss?
Yeah, well, I was waiting for Sal to get back on.
All right.
Okay, I will. I don't know for the council people. I just like to say, you're not alone in a lot of some of the statements you made, especially about the quality of life issues, about the dog poop around town, the dirt around town. We are starting a litter patrol. We do have a little litter patrol going around. So I do suggest that you call your councilman or myself or your ward councilman or any of the at-large and let us know and we will direct people to those areas. And additionally, the crime, we know it's an issue. I have raised it multiple times. That's to the administration, what they want to do. Chief Geisler is on. I don't know if he wants to comment on it. I know our police take it very serious and they have people out there and they have special task force and have made a number of arrests and done things. I don't know if Chief Geisler would like to add on to that at all.
Sure, Council President, can you hear me?
Sure, yes, we can.
If someone could get me the phone number or email address for that last caller, I'll have somebody contact you tomorrow and we'll try and rectify those quality of life issues. As far as the package thefts go, we've been proactive with that. We work closely with a lot of the delivery companies. And it is an issue, especially with COVID now, and everybody's receiving more packages. And unfortunately, it is a crime of opportunity, and people do take advantage of packages being left on porches. But we will definitely go up into that area tomorrow. I'll have somebody reach out to the caller, and we'll try and rectify those quality of life issues for her.
Yeah, and if I could add something as well. Chief, I have some information for Ms. Kledgmont to give you. I'll text it to you at a proper time. But I spoke to her yesterday. I had spoken to her in the past over the last several years. The majority of our conversation yesterday was about the building. She had concerns about the parking, and she did mention that the most of the buildings charge for parking. So the people that don't want to pay for parking park on the street. But I explained to her about our new rules that these buildings, the people will not be able to get a parking pass to park on the street. So that did alleviate some issue for her. The other issues did not come up, but if they did, I would gladly call the chief, see what he could do about maybe getting a patrol or doing some other things as far as the packages are concerned. But as far as the filter in town, it's an issue in some places, worse in some places than others. And we would address that as soon as, if we see something that that we can change, of course, we're going to change it.
Thanks, Councilman. If you can get me that information, we'll reach out tomorrow, and we'll definitely take proactive steps to rectify that.
You got it, Chief.
And just additionally, the concern about the buildings, I'm very sad personally to see Denoy leave. Unfortunately, that's the owner's decision. He doesn't want to keep it there, and he sees the opportunity to sell and develop a residential. Do we're trying to get a fair mix of both, and with keeping the look and feel and the community feel of Bayonne and keeping our personality. But it's what the market is demanding right now. So we do hear you, we do agree with you, but it's what the market is handling and calling for. But we do try very hard to keep, what makes Bayonne Bayonne. And I do, agree with some of what you said.
And are there any other speakers?
Emmanuel, any other hands raised?
Emmanuel? Lose him?
Oh, I don't think he's there because somebody's telling me they have their hand raised.
See, I don't
Yeah,
see
there's a
that.
couple people with hands raises. I'm getting text. Can you not? I don't see the public. I only see the staff. I used to see the public, but I don't anymore.
Staff, I don't see the public.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
So I have Gail Gadowski, and Peter Franco, and Mike Rosigno having their
Okay.
hands
So,
raised. Yeah.
okay, so we'll do Mike Versigno. You can speak now, please.
Unmute Mike.
Yep, he can now self-unmute himself.
Okay. Mike,
Okey-dokey.
unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All righty, I'm just giving a shout out for April 24th. We got Earth Day coming up, and I'd like the public to know that the Bayonne Nature Club will be out cleaning Rakowski Park. And if you want to volunteer on Earth Day and you're looking for a place to go, Rakowski Park is always good for a cleanup. And I want to also thank the Department of Public Works for the fine job they've been doing with the Bayonne parks. And you all have a good evening and hope to see everybody on Earth Day.
Thank you, Mr. Rossignol. You can unmute Ms. Kadeski now.
Okay,
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, we can hear you.
All right, I just first and foremost want to thank the council for all the extra hard work that they're doing. And I just have a comment on an add-on regarding communications. You all know that I am passionate about the great city of Bayonne. I always have been and I always will. But I have something I have to say. I was honored and privileged to be the mayor's designee on the Bayonne Public Library. The Bayonne Public Library does a lot of community outreach during the COVID-19 issue. The board and the staff have been doing an excellent job over there, keeping the kids occupied with stories, etc. I resigned as the mayor's designee, and I understand that somebody that does not live in Bayonne is going on the board as the mayor's designee. We have 67,000 residents in the great city of Bayonne, and I'm sure there is somebody that could represent the mayor, as I did, with pride and commitment to the city of Bayonne, who lives in Bayonne. You know, I may be talking off kilter here, but that's how I feel, and I just had to say what I feel, and I hope that the council and the mayor will reconsider putting somebody who lives in the great city of Bayonne to be a part of the board that does good work for the residents of the city of Bayonne. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for all you do. Be safe, stay well.
Thank you. I'm just going to respond to that, Ms. Kadeski. We know you're an avid Bayonne cheerleader. You always do what's good, but the council, because you said you would hope the council and mayor would, that the council has no say. Somebody else go on mute who's got, the council has no say in this. This is strictly the mayor's decision. In all boards, as a matter of fact, the mayor appoints and we just confirm. And this one, when it's his designee, it's just, he's just notifying us. So I don't, I don't know why. You'd have to ask him why it's, he didn't appoint the Bayonne person. But again, that is out of the preview of this council. We don't have any say in that. It is strictly the mayor's choice.
And to that end, Gail,
Okay,
the designee in this case is the mayor's designee. It's got to be an employee of the city of Bayonne, or someone that had been an employee of the city of Bayonne. It is the intent of the mayor to name someone that works for the city of Bayonne, or lives in the city of Bayonne, to serve on the board. This is an interim step just to,
Okay.
to make sure that we have someone on the board in the interim period until someone else is named.
okay, thank you very much, and also thank you for the privilege and the honor. Stay safe and be well.
Thank you for serving, Gail.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
okay, Mr.
Next
Franco.
we have Mr. Franco. Yes, you may unmute Mr. Franco.
Hey, good evening, Council. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so I just wanted to, I guess, start off, Mrs. Kledmont, her comments, basically about the city being filthy. I'm in agreement. I mean, this is as filthy as we've kind of seen it in a very long time. I noticed that maybe a year and a half ago, there was a big press release with Mr. Carroll and Mr. Perez. All these signs went up about, addressing the litter campaign. And I'm just trying to see how, a year and a half later, and the city's as filthy as ever. So I don't know if either one of you guys want to comment to that before I get into my other comments.
Certainly. I'll take that one. Yeah, I was honored that Mr. Perez and Gary joined me in that as well. We worked with the Boy Scouts. Obviously, you're not proud of the work that they're doing, but I was happy with them that they wanted to come on and join the effort. Those signs are basically a community effort. Now, we need to do things in the city, and the council president mentioned some of the things that we're doing, and she can speak more on that in a moment. But that effort, the clean sweeps effort, was simply a citizen effort to address the issue and come together and give us a chance, which I think you would agree with as well, and I believe I've spoken about in the past, the chance to come together as a community to solve a problem, as opposed to just trying to do it from the city side, which we're addressing that effort as well. So I would say thank you again to all the scouts that are doing the first time and are continuing to help. And as the summer comes around and the scouts get out more and more, and as COVID comes to an end and they're able to gather in larger numbers, I think this will continue to be a very positive impact on the city.
All right. I give you an E for effort on that one, Neil. But listen, so I want to get, really address some of this stuff that's was in the paper about a week and a half ago, ultimately, with this big lawsuit between the business administrator of our city and the city of Bayonne. One of the claims in there was misappropriation of funds. I'm not sure if the council's aware, but I do my homework. So Mark Benamo, his LinkedIn says he's no longer working with the city of Bayonne. That's on his own personal LinkedIn, but he technically hasn't worked for the city since February 15th. However, he's been paid checks from the city of Bayonne, ultimately. And I guess my next question would be, are we still paying him?
Mr. Franco, if that's a question, I can't answer that because I don't have that information in front of me. And, we can't really, that's public record, so it's not like I can't comment on a personnel issue because somebody's salary or when they're on payroll or off payroll, I'm not sure because I don't have access to that. We could obviously request it. We could get that information unless Mr. Coffey may know, but I don't know anyone else on the council wouldn't know that information unless we knew ahead of time and we could have asked for it because it isn't personnel information. It's public record, but I don't have it available right now.
I think
Thank
the
you, Council President.
last day of pay was April 4th or 5th.
Okay. Or 5th. All right, so how does Mark Benamo end up with more than 2 weeks of vacation time for being an employee just over a year?
Again, Mr. Franco, I can't talk to personnel issues. I hear what you're saying, but I don't know that. That's out of the purview of the council. Not saying we wouldn't address something if it wasn't right, but we don't get that information. We don't make those agreements with employees or what they get when they come on. That's just not, we're not involved in that level. That would be a question for the mayor.
Okay, so the council has zero, if this guy was basically cashing in weeks of vacation, that wouldn't go before the council at all.
We would not be aware of that because we don't get attendance records and we don't get that. And I'm not saying we would turn a blind eye if you're saying something was done, but I'm just saying we don't know anything like that. We'd have to go in and inquire and ask that information if someone, we just don't have it. We're not allowed to be involved in the administration side of the city where the legislative side.
Okay, the thing is I look at like employees of 25 years that had to prorate some of their vacation days, but yet, this guy, and obviously it doesn't fall on you, it falls on the mayor. This guy's basically able to collect and cash out, ultimately, and it's frustrating. Obviously, I don't know when the mayor's hours are or if he's even had them. But even getting an email response from the guy seems, I might have a better chance getting Aaron Judge's autograph. So I just want to bring that to your attention. Obviously, if this guy's getting paid and he's not, he's not in on the sign-in sheet and he's been getting paid by the city, he was out on February 15th. Mr. Coffey just said April 4th was the last check he was issued. That's called criminal. So I hope when this thing all comes out that you're willing to turn around and say, hey, to the mayor, what's going on here? Because this makes the entire city look like a joke. And it's a shame at a time when every extra penny that we have in the city could be going to relief for some of these small businesses that have been beat over the head, or people with mental health issues in our community as a result of this COVID. And here we are paying this guy. You know, it's frustrating. So I'm just going to end my comments there. I thank you for your time, and stay safe and stay well.
Thank you. Do we have any other public speakers? Any other hands raised?
That should be it.
Okay,
Nobody else.
Madeline.
06 is an ordinance for introduction. It's an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, adopting the redevelopment.
Text me said they got a hand raised, but they're not getting in.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you want to take a second look?
Can
Manuel-
you give me their name?
Should be
Because I don't see any hands raised over here.
Jack. Mr. Kennedy wants to speak.
Jack Kennedy.
Jack Kennedy. Because I'm having 15 people over here, and
Is he on by name or is he just a number?
Probably a screen name.
Jack Kennedy. No.
From what I'm being told, it's a Jack 65W. That you can't find it?
No, I don't see any name.
Is there
Okay,
Well,
now he
we'll
has-
reserve, if he wants to drop off and dial back in, we'll give him the right to come back. Tell Jack he can try back in.
Am I
maybe.
here?
Oh.
Yeah.
Did I get in?
Jack, you're on.
All
Yeah.
right, great. Hey, good evening, council. I just have a quick one here.
Can you
We're in the process.
Go ahead,
Can you
sorry.
hear me?
Yes.
We're in the process of paving West 7th Street, doing a beautiful job. The abandoned project at 175 West 7th Street. The fencing is in the street. We have no access to the public sidewalks. The paving stops at that point. It can't go from Humphrey to the boulevard. What can we do about this abandoned project up here? It's an eyesore. I just spent well over $60,000 to upgrade the outside of my house. I'm going to have pools of water up there, weeds. I'm going to have mosquitoes in my back and front yards. It's a mess. I understand it's in pre-foreclosure. I've reached out to I did some Google searching. I reached out to one of the banks that are listed. They don't have their hands on it yet. Their hands are tied. They can't do anything. We need to get a hold of this Esposito company and find out what the heck can we do. We got to get the fencing. We're taking up 6 parking spaces. And in between my driveways, there are small spots. We've got neighbors who can't find parking, and they'll park and then overhang in our driveways. And my wife has a problem with that. So I'm just trying to get 175 West 7th Street cleaned up. I know Mr. Carroll's been on it. He's been trying to get answers to emails for the past 6 months. I think we need, and I have nothing against Mr. Carroll. He's a good friend of mine. But I think we need some more muscle on that. We got to get this cleaned up. It's a mess up there.
Jack, we have been after them and we have contacted them, and I have reached out to our buildings or owner to reach out again. And I talked to Mr. Cotter, but just in all fairness, it didn't really affect the paving. The paving wasn't going that far anyway. It was always stopping at Humphrey. So it was never intended to get that close to the boulevard for a number of reasons.
I understand there's a clause in their contract that they have to do the paving once the construction is done. But being that it's in foreclosure, it's not going to get done.
But again, it wasn't in our plans when we submitted them for the state to pave that. But I agree with you 100%, and I've been asking for 3 years for them at least to take the fencing down and move it back. We will make sure tomorrow that we send someone there. At least maybe we'll see. Maybe just the city can go take that fencing down. I don't know how that works, but we'll.
Yeah, it's a pretty dangerous corner to begin with. You have people walking, trying to get around, and they have to walk in the street, even on the boulevard, where that entrance to the back highway is. It's not a good corner.
It's a dangerous place. You know, I live right there. I go in on that multiple days, and with the popularity of the bridge walkway, it is really a high traffic area, and 100% agree with you. But like, part of the problem is ownership, right? When something's in
I know.
pre-foreclosure, but tomorrow we will check with to see if there's a way that the city can go in actually and move those fences back. I'm not sure what that would be from a legal perspective or what our rights are, but we certainly will follow up.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a great night.
I
Thank you.
appreciate your voicing your concerns, and you're by far not in the minority on this issue. I've gotten a lot of calls from a lot of people, and like you said, and I appreciate you mentioning that. I've been trying to address it, but absolutely every one of my council colleagues has been aware of this issue, and they have been trying. So, you mentioned muscle before. There's strength in numbers, and I believe we'll have a resolution to this because it's a very
Fantastic.
serious issue, especially with the summer coming and the kids being out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If I could just add something to that. It's a safety issue just for the location itself of having to walk in the street on such a busy intersection there, by the bridge, by the highway. But another issue with a lot of these fences are the garbage that's been piling up.
Yep.
So I'm going to make a push that we, our people go out and inspect these areas that have fences because they seem to be gathering a lot of garbage. I had some issues on some buildings uptown, and I've noticed throughout the rest of the town that there is an issue with that too. So we need to look at the dangerous intersections that maybe we can move those fences, and we also need to look at the garbage to make the quality of life of the town a little better.
Thank you, Gary. All right, guys. Have a great night. Take care.
You too. Good night.
Good night.
Okay. 06 is for introduction. It's adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 218-222 Broadway, which property is identified as Block 319, Lot 26, as shown on the official tax map of the city, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, May 12, 2021, and the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chamber for the time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's a resolution moved by Councilmember La Palusa. Ms. Nadrowski, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais? He didn't come back. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski?
Aye.
07 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne adopting redevelopment plan for the property located at Hook Road and Commerce Street, which property is identified as Block 481, Lot 5.02, as shown on the official tax map of the City of Bayonne, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, May 12, 2021, at 7 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for public hearing and final passage. Mr. Perez moves the resolution. Ms. Nadrowski, will you second?
Second. And by the way, Mr. Scalise is on. I don't know why
Is he-
we can't hear him or see him, but he is on. He dropped off and joined back in. He's speaking to him on the phone.
I won't be able to see him nod his head. So on that resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
All right.
Manuel, can
you hear me, Madeline?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, Sal, you could speak. They're asking. You can. She's asking for your vote.
Okay, on yours or go back to my thing?
No, just vote.
Aye, aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
9 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, traffic, and fixing Wednesday, May 12th as a time and place for a public hearing. That time and place for a public hearing and final passage. And the resolution is moved by the Council President. Mr. Carroll, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Consent agenda for communications is moved by the council as a whole. It is a resolution ordering the following communications be received and filed by the council. It covers C1 through C2. Any questions on the communication agenda?
Emmanuel, is there any hands raised?
No hands raised right now.
Okay, thank you.
And on the consent resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And officers' report is consent resolution moved by the council as a whole, ordering the following officers' reports to be received and filed, and any resolution incorporated within them to be adopted. It covers OR 1 through OR 2. Any questions on the officers' report? No. Okay, and on the officers' reports, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Nadrowski.
Aye.
And consent agenda for resolutions is moved by the council as a whole, and it's ordering the resolutions incorporated within to be adopted. It covers CR 1 through CR 11. Any questions on the consent resolutions? Nothing. And on the consent resolutions, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Okay. R1 is being removed because I was informed that last month included 3 months worth of appropriations. R2 is adopting the corrective action plan in response to the 2019 audit. Moved by Councilmember Perez. Nadrowski, will you second?
Second.
And any questions on R2?
Empty.
Okay, on the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais, Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
R3 is a resolution moved by the council president authorizing and directing the planning board to conduct a preliminary investigation to determine whether certain property located at 13 East 33rd Street and 734-758 Broadway, which is identified as block 140, lots 2, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, .02, 60, 61, and 62, and shown in the official tax map of the city, constitutes a non-condemnation area of need of redevelopment pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
If I can, just jump right in here. I was just advised that it should be, the resolution's right, but the blurb has 59.02. It should be 59.01.
Yep, okay. Any questions on R3?
Empty over here.
Okay, and on the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
R4 is a resolution moved by Councilmember La Palusa designating AMS Equities LLC as a redeveloper of the property located at 130-140 Avenue E, 154 Avenue E, and 157-163 Avenue E, which properties are identified as Block 467, lots 23, 24, 25, and 26, Block 458, lots 1.02 and 1.03, and Block 234, Lot 8.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city, and authorizing the negotiation and redevelopment plan with AMS Equities LLC for the redevelopment of said property. Who'd like to move it?
Move it.
So moved.
And a second? Use that.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
R5 is amending the resolution 21-03-17090, which authorized the city to enter into a consent order specifying the terms for the settlement of a New Jersey tax court matter, which then is amending the resolution to enter into a memorandum of agreement between 190 West 54th Urban Renewal LLC and the city of Bayonne. Would like to move it.
Move it.
And a second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
and Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Okay. Now comes all the add-ons. First one is something I missed. It's an ordinance for introduction approving the financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and the Bayonne Equities B2 Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 9-11 West 12th Street and 281-89 Broadway, which property is identified as Block 264, lots 15, 16, 17, and 18, as shown on the official tax map of the city. And it's a resolution fixing Wednesday, May 12th at 7 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time.
Can we have
Yep.
some information on this, please? The terms and things there?
Yeah, let her, you could talk when we're gonna vote, Gary,
Okay,
but let her finish reading it, right?
okay.
Go ahead.
Me too.
Okay, fix May 12th as a time and place for public hearing and final passage. Who would like to move the resolution?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Okay. Before I take the vote. On the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Before I vote on moving it, I really would have liked that information.
Oh, what do you want to know about it? I mean, it's a financial agreement, and
What's the
it's
terms? How many years?
20 years. 20 years.
And this is residential? I'm just,
Yes,
I
it is
right?
residential.
because we had talked last year
Yeah.
about doing only 15 years for residential. How many years is this?
This is 20.
So,
As it stands now, it's 20.
yeah, I'm standing my ground. I don't even want to move this if it's 20 years.
Okay, Ms. La Palusa, I agree. We did say we would go down to 15.
Are you calling
I
for
agree with you, and I think we should move this down to 15. So I would say we should continue with it, and we'll have it addressed before and get the new details. But we'll send it back. We could pass it now, send it back, and then vote on it in its final, which will be, 15, because I think we're all in agreement that that's all we really want. We want nothing more than 15 for these type of buildings. And it is
So
also my
so
understanding.
tell me, why would we pass this now in the form that it's in with 20 years?
Because it's really not finalized, right? I mean, the terms can be changed. It doesn't matter either way.
Well, it's just that you're kind of adopting this for the first, go around on, it's almost like a false pretense. You're adopting a 20-year plan when
Okay.
you're saying next year, next month,
I agree, because I
if it
said the same
stays
thing about
20,
You're right, Gary, because I said the same thing about Delta Storage. I was the only one that said it on that time, but yeah, you're right. We should,
Yeah,
so we
and
want
they
to
can
continue.
come back next month and redo the plan, and we'll weigh it out then. But I think now, and it's just that as a whole, this council said we were going to do something we really should stick by. So I would vote no on this the way it is now. But
Okay.
if you want to continue the vote, you can do that. But I just don't
Okay.
think that's the right thing to do.
So Gary's no. Okay.
Okay.
So
So are
I'm
we continuing or are you
suggesting
calling
that
So
for?
we
Gary,
don't.
no.
I'm suggesting that we don't move this. So I'm going to
Well,
vote.
we're
Okay.
in the middle of the vote. Yeah.
Okay. So it was my vote, Madeline.
Your vote? Yes, your
All
vote.
right. So then I'll vote no.
Okay. Mr. Perez.
I totally agree with Gary on this, but I understand what Sharon says. We're gonna send it back. Hopefully it comes down to 15. I'll vote aye now, but if it doesn't come back with 15, when we redo it again, I'm gonna vote against it. Aye.
And Ms. Nadrowski.
I agree with Mr. La Palusa wholeheartedly. You know, although we didn't put a time on when we were going down to 15, I think now is the time when we should be going down to 15. We said in this year sometime, end of first quarter seems like the right time. So I agree with Mr. La Palusa that it shouldn't. I'm gonna, because I did for the Delta Storage where I didn't want it out there with the terms not up there, I'm going to be consistent and I'm gonna vote no until we have the term. So.
Okay, the majority is that the resolution, the ordinance has been introduced. So you have a public hearing, you have that moment at the public hearing to table it or not move it for second reading. So it doesn't get adopted.
Understood.
Okay. And 2 is ratifying and affirming the actions of the municipal council on entering into an agreement with Stark LLC for professional medical and related ancillary services to provide the administration of the COVID vaccines and into the affiliation agreement with Hudson County Community College to provide supplementing nursing staffing services. And this is being done because in the notice for the special meeting, it said 7 o'clock, not 6. So we don't want anybody to think we were passing something over them. So we're just ratifying and affirming what we did at the special meeting. And who'd like to move it?
Move it.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
03 is an ordinance of the city of Bayonne, and it's for introduction, and it's approving the form and authorizing the execution and delivery of the lease purchase agreement with the Hudson County Improvement Authority relating to the issuance of up to $95 million aggregated principal amount of the authority's city's guaranteed lease revenue bonds for Bayonne Medical Center project and any notes issued in anticipation thereof by the Hudson County Improvement Authority, and the resolution fixing Wednesday, May 12, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chamber as the time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Who would like to move it?
So move.
And second?
Second.
And on that ordinance for introduction, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Galais.
Val, I had you on mute. Go ahead.
Aye.
Mr. Galais.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Just along the same lines as we need a lot more information. We're passing something for $95 million here that we don't really have a lot of information, but I'm going to, I did have a conversation with Mr. Coffey that we will be getting more information for next month. And I am asking that Mr. DeMarco and our representative from New World Financial, for who's doing the finance, our financial analysis on this, and anyone else that is pertinent with the information on this. It's one of the biggest things we'll be doing in the city. Be available and be invited to this meeting as panelists so they can speak at next month and answer our questions if they're not answered before then, and answer any questions from the public, because I anticipate when spending 95 million of the taxpayers' money, there'll be plenty of questions. So, aye.
Four is similar to this, add four is similar. It's an ordinance authorizing the guarantee of payment of the principal, interest, and of not to exceed $95 million aggregate principal amount of the city's guaranteed lease revenue bonds for the Bayonne Medical Center project to be issued by the Hudson County Improvement Authority for the purpose of providing additional security, therefore in determining certain other matters in connection therewith, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, May 12th as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Who'd like to move that?
So moved.
So
Move
moved.
it.
Second.
And on that ordinance, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And five is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to accept a donation from Bennett Realty LLC in the amount of $27,323.57 to be used towards the annual lease payment for the 2018 Spartan Metro Star fire engine. Would like to move it.
Move it.
Second.
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 And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And six is authorizing the execution of a road access agreement between the Port Authority in New York, New Jersey, and the city of Bayonne to provide public access over the roadway to be known as a portion of Port Lincoln Road located within Block 900, Lot 1.0101, and Block 930, Lot 1.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city of Bayonne. It's the north-south connection. And a second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
At seven is from Donna Maurer, submitting the supplemental debt statement as of March 14, 2021. It pertains to add three, the ordinance for introduction. Who'd like to move it?
So moved.
Second.
And on the resolution, officer's report, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And eight is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with New Jersey Humane Society LLC for the aforesaid animal control officer and animal shelter services for a period commencing May 1, 2021, ending December 31st, 2021, payable at a rate of $6,765.48 per month for a total contract amount of $47,358.33 for the 8-month period, with the two possible 1-year renewal options. Who would like to move it?
So moved.
And a
Second.
second?
Second.
And are there any questions on this one? On the
I
animal?
have two letters from residents that asked to be read into the record on.
I don't hear nothing now.
I turned you off. All right, you're not on mute. I have sorry.
No, that's all right.
So I have two letters here from residents that are asked to be read into the record on this agenda item. So I am writing this letter concerning the contract for animal control that is currently with Liberty Humane of Jersey City, New Jersey, and I am asking that it be read out loud so that it become part of the public record before the contract for animal control is awarded. I am respectfully asking for your consideration in awarding the animal contract to Jeffrey Santini of New Jersey Humane Society. As a volunteer and member of the Bayonne Feral Cat Foundation for many years, it has been my experience to deal with the animal control issues. Being a volunteer of the Bayonne Feral Cat Foundation, I have personally received many calls from citizens of Bayonne with issues involving injured or abandoned cats and kittens in our city. It has been a very difficult task to get Liberty Humane to respond to calls for assistance. More often than not, they do not respond either by not returning the call for help or just not showing up to pick up an injured animal. On one such experience with the Liberty Humane was called from a citizen that a cat was somehow managed to become lodged in a motor in their car. Upon receiving no help from the Liberty Humane, the citizen called me. When I arrived at the location, I called the Liberty Humane, no response. Then I contacted the Bayonne Police Department. When the police officers arrived, they asked me if I had tried to contact Liberty Humane. I advised them that I had, but they had not responded. The two police officers were able to get the cat out of the car motor. The problems with Liberty Humane's lack of response and concern for injured animals has been ongoing and caused much frustration and anger with the residents of Bayonne. Liberty Humane has not and will not pick up an abandoned kitten on another such occasion. Mr. Santini was instrumental in helping Bayonne Feral Cat Foundation retrieve a cat from an animal abuse situation. I have complete and utter confidence in Mr. Santini and his staff would do an excellent job for the city of Bayonne if awarded the animal control contract. Bayonne Feral Cat Foundation has received numerous calls from citizens of Bayonne, and as I am sure that all calls to City Hall have also been made where there has been no help from Liberty Humane. Given Liberty Humane, the animal contract would not help the animals who need assistance, nor the concerned citizens who have reached out to them for help. I thank you in advance for your consideration in this matter. Sincerely, Phyllis Melito, Bayonne Feral Cat Foundation. I have one more letter. This email is directed to the City Council regarding Liberty Humane. It is my understanding that the contract with them has expired, and I do not wish to see it renewed. They have been completely unresponsive to needs of this town. Their response to people who call for help with cats that are injured, sick, or trapped in engines or cars have been useless. They say to just leave kittens alone. They don't respond to cats and being stuck in the car and having to get the Bayonne PD to come and help. As a local rescue, I have responded to numerous calls for help. We do not get paid to do their job, and we never turn our back on a sick or injured cat. Please get Jeffrey Santini back as animal control. We have a good working relationship with him and his staff. He has spoken to me and Councilman LaPalooza previously about a satellite shelter here in Bayonne to address the concerns of the community. He has recently gotten involved with getting our cats back from a couple who had them on a pre-adoption, pre-trial period, but then refused to return them to him. We are overwhelmed with cats and need a TNR, and Liberty is doing nothing to help. There are many interested in giving, they are more interested in giving lectures to people, and many times downright nasty. Please get rid of Liberty Humane. Respectfully, Kathleen Henderson.
Sharon, you'll send those to me tomorrow?
Yes, I certainly will.
And on that resolution, Mr. Carroll.
And to clarify, this is for Santini, essentially. Then I vote aye.
And Mr. Galais?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Just as a clarification, the terms were also better. It's not just a matter of the quality, which is an issue, but the terms over the 3 years were slightly better. So I think it's a savings of about 26,000, I believe, over the 3 years. So with that, and I have seen the facility in West New York a few years ago. So he has my confidences on there were some disappointments in the contract that we have currently. So with that, I'll vote aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
and Ms. Nadrowski.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Councilman La Palusa said, there was a significant savings, like he said, $28,000 over the 3 years, if the extensions are taken. And I too, along with Councilman Galise, I think, and Councilman Perez had all visited the facility, and we're pleased with what we saw. So with that, I vote aye.
Nine is ordering a warrant in the amount of $10,036 payable to the state of New Jersey for state surcharge fees for new construction and alterations. Would like to move it.
Move it.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
Last one I have is from the Honorable James M. Davis, reappointing Mary Beth Doria as a member of the Library Board for a term to expire December 31st, 2025, and appointing Donna Russo as the mayor's designee for a term to expire December 31st, 2021.
Move it.
Second.
Second. And on that communication from the mayor, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski.
Aye.
And that is all I have. Jay, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, and with nothing else on the table, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion.
moved.
Second.
And on the motion to adjourn, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Galais,
Oh, sorry. I had him on mute.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa,
Aye.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Nadrowski. Okay, sorry, Sal, I didn't see your head shake, so I.
Just one last thing before everyone signs off. We had just celebrated Easter and Passover. I'd just like to wish we're now in the Ramadan season, so I would like to wish all of our Muslim community members a blessed and abundant month. And that's it. So have a good night.
Cheryl, you want to say anything about Earth Day cleanup?
Oh, yeah, I think Mike said that, but yes, we could talk about the Earth Day cleanup. I don't even have the date. Let me look quickly on my calendar.
Is it 24th?
Yeah, April
Yeah,
24th,
Tuesday,
Saturday.
April
from 10 to
24th.
noon.
April
And you might-
24th, you can go on the city website. You can register with our UEZ coordinator and Clean Community coordinator, Didi Botino. There are flyers out there. It's been posted on the mayor's social media pages. I believe it's on the OEM site. You can always call the council chamber too if you want to sign up for a team. We realize it's COVID. If you don't really feel comfortable getting up with a team, you can just go out. Last year, we were in the middle of COVID team and high in the middle of COVID, and people went out in front of their own house and cleaned up their blocks and, take pride in your community. So we invite everyone, we encourage everyone to participate. We had heard today, we all know that there is a litter problem. With that being said, tonight is garbage night. It's always garbage night somewhere. So if we can please make sure you put out your garbage and recycles in a manner in which they're not loose, so that when we do get windy or weather, it doesn't blow around town and add, that goes a long way in helping. So thank you and have a good night.